Welcome to Vision 2, where we're going to be talking C64 Minis, because there's been controversy about the review of the C64 Mini on the channel. Now, I tried to explain how I came across it. I happened to be in Lincoln, time to kill, walked into cash converters, and there one was. I'd never thought about reviewing one for the channel. Other people do that kind of thing. But at the price and the fact I was killing time, I thought, well, why not buy it? It's boxed, it's new, it's there. It's something for the channel, and it could be of interest, because the Vision audience, I think, are people either running original hardware or perhaps aspiring to run original hardware. There's other people as well, but this isn't a big community. It's a fairly small channel. It's not a general channel that gets 30,000 views on a video about something. It's a small community of users, and if there's something out there that may be of interest, well, sometimes I pick things up. I pick things up on eBay to review on the channel, those little handheld portables, and some of them have been rubbish, and some of them have also been rubbish, but have been so cheap they're irresistible to buy for the kids to give them on holiday, because if they break a £5 handheld on the beach, so what? And if the emulation's a bit off, doesn't matter. They're happy playing Alex Kidd on the beach there. If it lasts the holiday, fantastic. And the C64 Mini was genuinely something I haven't read too much about. Indeed, I mean, I can go through some of the comments. Someone said, why didn't I watch other reviews? And why didn't I know about it? Well, I knew about the C64 Mini mainly because of the Vega fiasco. But I knew very little about it other than it was a miniature C64 with some games on it. Some American viewers weren't happy with some of the games, but not general details about the device. I wasn't sure if it was HDMI or it also had composite, whether it came with a power supply or didn't come with a power supply. I'd heard a few things about virtual keyboards, but I wasn't sure if all the keys on the keyboard weren't functional or if they were. And also some little bits about the quality of the joystick, but really I came to it with no major impressions of it other than that. So, because I deal with real hardware, I'm more tied up with actually running the original stuff and things that are coming out for the original stuff. So that's why I don't know too much about it. It genuinely was a surprise when I got it out. That's the first time I'd seen one in the flesh. There's also been comments about the review in terms of things I said, for example, the lag, which, to be fair, the firmware update does fix to a degree. But some people have said you have to expect lag with HDMI. You know, it just comes with the territory. Well, yes, but I deal with lag all the time on Vision because I'm capturing from real hardware. It's going through conversion devices into the capture card, and the bit I look at when I'm playing is actually coming out of the capture device as an output. There's quite a significant lag. If you're playing with a Spectrum or an Amstrad with a speaker on the machine and that's on, you can hear, especially on the Spectrum, when you're tapping the keys, that little click that comes out the speaker, you are quite a way behind. And that's why sometimes I don't do too well on some of these games, because some of the fast reaction games, you just cannot. So the lag, I'm used to. And I've played this directly via HDMI, and I've also played it via capture as well. And I think the device genuinely, definitely out of the box, has a massive lag issue. There's no doubt about it. It's a big issue. Boulder Dash I found disconcerting. And bear in mind, last time I played Boulder Dash, it was under capture. So again, I'm used to a little bit of lag. And incidentally, I'm viewing all my capture on an HDMI display anyway, although it's going in via component. But, you know, it's a modern LCD. It has lag. So I don't buy that one. There was massive lag. The firmware update appears to have fixed most of it, but I think there's still lag there. Other people have said it's unfair to compare it to the RetroPie. I quote, the RetroPie is useless. Apparently it's hard to set up, and the C64 Mini's ready to go. You can buy RetroPie setups ready to go and all sorted out. So that one doesn't wash. You can go on, I've just been on Amazon. Just now you can buy a RetroPie in the shape of a Nintendo Entertainment System, whatever that is. And was it 70, 80 pounds, something like that. It's got all these games installed in it, all ready to go. I did take with RetroPie the Pi I think I've erased it since then. It seemed fine. I didn't find it particularly fiddly. I found a few bits of it a little bit fiddly, but it's 3-4 years ago. It's going to have improved since then, I would have imagined. But the C64 Mini is a device you can get out of the box. You don't have to be technical. So, although you're going to have to apply a firmware update if you want to actually play games of your own, I don't know if non-technical people would ever get as far as putting a firmware update in. So, the star comment, and the best one, was from Pocket Amigo, who said, literally info all over the internet on this thing, you're kind of an idiot. Although originally he put, you're kind an idiot, I think, and he corrected it because he edited it. Again, it assumes I'm reading all these reviews and that I would go and read other reviews before doing a review. I don't believe in doing that. I try, and it's hard with retro games sometimes, not to be coloured by other people's judgment. I don't want to know what other people think. I'm not on Lemon 64, for I'm not reading what people have to say on these things. I really hadn't seen much about it. And if I didn't know something, I'd rather discover it in a review, because it has to be entertaining, than come to it fully armed and just got to be very methodical, very calculated about it. If something's a surprise to me, I want it to be a surprise. I want to be getting it out of the box and having a look at it, take it away, review it, play it for a couple of weeks like I did, come back, give you an opinion. So I want that journey. Same with the MSX review I've just done. I turned the MSX on before I did the main bit of the video, checked it worked, checked it loaded, that was fine. But actually, I'm getting it out of the box, having a proper look at it on camera for the first time. It's the way I generally work. Same with the Amstrad emailer and so on. I checked it was in the box. I think I'd actually checked it turned on to make sure I wasn't wasting my time setting the camera up. But more than that, no. Panther UK writes, I make you wrong on this instance, fella. I've got multiple original C64s. I watch your channel and wanted to get a Mini upon release. This is nice under the telly with a wireless joypad, an old bread bin box with a keyra in his USB keyboard, and I think it's great to play in HD. So he's got a C64 with a USB keyboard plugged into a Mini. Okay. I mean, whatever. It's as good as original. Well, no, it isn't. It's handy for quick master games, yes. And it's the intention here. I think that's it. And he says the SID emulation is good enough. Well, it is good enough. It doesn't sound right. Certainly through my edit speakers, you can hear the SID on the bread bin thump the bass. It is very, very noticeable. The warmth and depth of the real thing. If you're listening through small speakers or cheap speakers or what have you, fine, you're not going to notice. But I really noticed it when I was doing the edit, that thump, that warmth that only a original SID in a bread bin has. The C64C doesn't so much have it. He also says there's not much lag. I disagree. I've got a setup here that works, guys, and I know how it works and how it lags. I've had that set up for 5 years for Chinny Vision, and I can tell when something is lagging more than normal. Finally, Panther UK, who I mainly agree with, says, sorry to hear your experience was far worse than mine. It's a novelty. If it's a novelty, then novelty hit all the right notes for me. That's fair enough. If you enjoy it, I'm not passing judgment. If you enjoy it, if it's on your TV and you use it, fair enough. Zortales writes, Cosmic Causeway is the sequel to Trailblazer. Thanks for that. I didn't know that. And it's always good to see stuff in the comments where people just point stuff out, because I genuinely had no idea. And was that ported to any other system? I don't think it was. British Bulldog says you can use a USB keyboard to type. Only reason the button is put on the shelf to look at, not to use. Yeah, that's good to know. You can use USB keyboard. I heard a few people talk about that. And apparently a USB hub works as well, which is good news. Count Scariloni, the Paris-dwelling alien, writes, good review, but I feel there may be a certain amount of unrestrained retro chauvinism going on here. These things aren't made for collectors, As you identify, there isn't anything here a collector wants. These are made for 40 or 50 somethings who last used a real C64 in 1991. I do not disagree. But if you were a technical C64 user back in the day, then you're better off with a real machine. If you're just one of those casual people who kind of play things, the kind of person who refers to the CPC as I had a computer with colourful keys on it. If you're one of those people, then the C64 Mini is fine for you. Not a problem. And you're probably never going to load any extra games on it as well. And you're probably going to play it once or twice and shove it in a cupboard or shove it into cache converters. And that's it. That's what the device is. That's who they are selling to. I think I hopefully make that clear in the review. A couple of people, including Jonathan Holt, said they got one on discount, £20. Jonathan Holt paid for a new unit. So that means they've been pretty heavily discounted. That makes the £40 I paid sound pretty heavy. And Gans Teeth wrote, I bought one out of curiosity, but I only turned it on a few times. It feels lacking to me too, especially playing shoot 'em ups, and the joystick is absolutely wretched. It is wretched, and that's something else people have brought up, saying, oh no, it's fine. I've got quite a lot of joysticks here, and that joystick is really bleeding awful. It's worse than that remade Competition Pro USB I have, which has the sticky down fire buttons. The fire buttons on this one don't stick down, but the diagonals are utterly painful, and the force you have to put on it at times. And other people have said, well, perhaps it's a poor quality control thing. Perhaps, but an awful lot of people are reporting exactly the same thing. The joystick ain't much cop. It's very cheap, and I'd be very interested to see if there's a steel shaft in there, because when I'm playing it, it bends an awful lot. Rusky writes, the power requirements are on the side of the box. I'm sorry, I didn't spot that. It's 5 volt, 1 amp. Again, you know, it's difficult sometimes. You're doing these things, looking at the box, and you suddenly think, oh, have they put the power requirements on there? You look around, you can't see it, but obviously it's there, so I'm sorry about that. You can't always get everything right and clean. I don't. And the thing is, any review is an opinion, and everyone has got an opinion, like they've got other things, and people don't always want to see the other things or hear your opinion. And I always try to be honest on Chinny Vision. I tell you what I think. I try to be fair. No one can be fair, completely fair, I don't think. Or you can be so anodyne that you don't actually end up saying anything, or just say everything is good. Oh, this is fantastic. That's fantastic. You do have to be critical so people can make up their own mind, so you can point out the flaws. So if someone looks at the review and goes, well, that's fine, I can live with lag, I don't mind that it looks like a pencil case, then fair enough, because I pointed out you can load on your own games, you can potentially put your own joystick and keyboard on there, and if it looks like something that you like and you've considered the Raspberry Pi, then go for it. But if you're thinking, oh, I was a technical C64 user back in the day, I would probably prefer a real bread bin, then that's the kind of thing we encourage on this channel, because this is the real hardware channel, guys. I want people to use real hardware. If I've got any flaw, any bias, I want people to go on eBay and push the prices up, because I get accused of that all the time. But I want people to go on eBay, buy these machines and use them, get into them. If you're not technical, learn about them. Because we've only got a diminishing number of these. These guys could bring out a brand new C64 full size, which I think they are. And that's great. And there's boards you can put inside your C64 to do various things and turn it into a brand new machine. That's great. We've only got these things in diminishing numbers. We've only got these things for a limited number of years before they're not going to work anymore. Nothing lasts forever. All seen Legopolis, Doctor Who, Entropy. Everything, even computer chips, and your capacitors can be replaced, but some of the chips inside these computers can't be replaced. You could have had CPC Plus or GX4000. That ASIC goes, good night Vienna. There are no replacements. There's nothing on the horizon. That's it. And some of the custom chips in the Commodore machines, same thing again. use them, enjoy them, buy them, use them now while we can, because they're wonderful machines. It's wonderful to boot up a real machine, play it, see what it actually looks like, because the video output on a real C64 is far better than this thing. Even a C64C, better colours, and you've got the anti-aliasing of the just generated inside the C64 itself, which all the graphics artists back in the day would have taken into account when they did this stuff. They're just better, and you can buy a 1541 Ultimate, you can buy an SD2 IEC, you can buy new power supply, you can do all this stuff. Old machines are wonderful. They're really nice things. They're far more than just an emulator in a box, and I would encourage anyone who's got any kind of passion for their particular computer, be it a BBC Micro, a CPC, a C64, a VIC, a Spectrum, an Auric, a Dragon, whatever, go and buy one and learn about it and get up and running and just enjoy it while we all can. And for everyone else, yeah, there's the C64 Mini.